Hey, welcome to Lady Overlander Radio. Tonight we're speaking with Paul Murray of Mamoo's Camp Kitchen. Stay tuned. Grab your favorite drink, whether it's a coffee, cocktail, or tea, and get ready. It's Ladies' Night on Lady Overlander Radio. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. The Lady Overlander Radio podcast is available live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also catch the audio version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms. Enjoy the show. Hey, Arla. Hey, girl. Hey.
Girl, hey.
How you been?
Good. How you been?
Busy moving and getting everything set up and getting the kids enrolled in school and all that fun stuff. So
all the things.
Now they're going to big kid high school. So
good luck to you. Got one.
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of driving, but not like overlanding. It's a lot of driving back and forth on the same road every day.
I hear you.
It's a little boring.
There's our guy.
Hey, man, old truck.
Hey, Phil. Been a little busy. We haven't had a podcast in a couple of weeks, so this is our first one in a couple of weeks. And I think we have several more coming over the next few weeks. Well, we're stacked up every week.
There's my hubby.
Hey, Joseph.
He's out in New Mexico right now.
He's where?
Well, he's actually in Arizona right now, and then he's going to New Mexico. So,
yeah. Hey, Galen.
He's out traveling around. Hey, Galen.
Oh, my gosh.
So anything new going on in the Bats Off Road household?
Hey, Tony. That's mine. Same stuff, different day. Hey, Peyton. So as you know, said daughter is getting to that age where she has her permit and learning how to drive, and she has a vehicle, and we're currently trying to get it mechanically sound. So that's been going on a lot at my house.
Yes. Vehicles. Yeah, we were just talking about teenagers and driving and stuff right before the show, and I'm not looking forward to that.
All the money flies out the window. All gone.
Yeah.
Got 2 Jeeps, already just empty every pocket. Got a teenager now that's going to drive. I don't know who's paying for this stuff.
I don't know. I'm that are going to be driving. So
3. No, thank you.
My insurance is going to be like through the roof. Yeah.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
So that's been happening. But Tony is going on a little trip this weekend, and he says he's going to be taking a Mamoo's with him this weekend. See, I told you. Nice. Shocking.
Nice.
He'll probably take all 4 with him because he likes to have variety and decide last minute. So yeah, he'll probably load up everything that we have.
Yeah.
With him. It's a boys' trip, so
he can do a taste test comparison and let us know which one he likes the best.
Well, we have been doing a little bit of taste test comparisons with others versus Mamoo's, so that'll come out shortly.
Nice. I like it.
Trying them all. I can't divulge what the results are, but
okay.
Should I be worried?
No, you're not worried.
I was going to say I wouldn't worry.
I can't keep a secret. No, you're not worried.
Wow, Arla.
That's delicious.
Wow. You had her at ice cream, so
I feel like a happy fat kid when I eat it. Hey, Michael. Hey, Gus.
Right.
Even if he's there or not.
And we've got a few people over on Instagram. We got the Dash Runner, Faith, and Private Knives of Valor. Hey, guys. Thank you for watching.
Hey, Michael. Michael is going with Tony this weekend.
Very nice.
And Benji.
Awesome.
Some other boys. Doing
boys
things.
Trip. I like it.
Boys things. I don't know.
Yeah, it gets them out of the house,
Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here.
All right, Paul. So tell us a little bit about how you came up with the concept for Mamoo's Camp Kitchen. What's the little background on all that?
Okay. Um, I have had a catering business and a gourmet food shop for about the last 12, 13 years.
Nice.
Before that, I was a college professor and taught at Louisiana Tech for about 10 years.
Huh.
And then I was principal at a Christian school for about 7 years and decided I wanted to do something different. So always been my dream and even my mother's dream to open up a restaurant. And my mother is Mamoo. So all the grandkids call my mother Mamoo. And
Love
so
it.
growing up, she had always wanted to open a restaurant, but she always said people couldn't afford to eat there because the way I cook, it would be too expensive for people to eat. And but she grew. I mean, when I was growing up, we farmed, and she fed the community. The farmers that were farming around would come in and just drop in at lunch to eat with her. And so I started the catering business and the restaurant about 12 or 13 years ago. And last November, I took a bow hunting trip to Kansas, and I took a bunch of commercially available freeze-dried meals with me to eat while I was in Kansas. And when I was out there, I ate them. They were okay. I mean, they filled you up. You didn't go hungry, but they weren't good by any means. And so, I said I can do better than that. So I came home last November. I bought a freeze dryer and began to work and adapting our casseroles and the different items that we had in our catering business to be freeze dried, which took a little longer than I had anticipated because it wasn't an easy just take the recipe and stick it in the freeze dryer. To get everything to rehydrate correctly, you had to have, meat sizes had to be a certain size and pasta size, everything had to be just right for it to be able to rehydrate correctly. And so we began working on those recipes. And last January, we actually started Mamoo's Camp Kitchen. And the success of it has just really been overwhelming, especially from the Overland community. I've just been blown away by the reception that we've gotten from people. I felt like there was a need out there. I didn't realize how big of a need there was out there. And so, thanks to people like y'all, I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show tonight and kind of talk about what we're doing. But yeah, we're just having fun with it.
No, that's awesome. That's really
So,
great. So how do you source your ingredients? Where do you get your items to make?
most of our stuff comes from our food supplier. We do some local um, like vegetables and that kind of stuff. We get some local stuff, but most of it comes from our food suppliers. Um, and then we have, like, for example, like our jambalaya has smoked sausage in it. So
Mm.
we found a little mom and pop butcher shop in Pearl, Mississippi, and they make our sausage for us. And they actually they dice it in the right correct size for us to be able to freeze dry it and rehydrate it. And so we kind of work with our suppliers to get the ingredients that we need, especially the specialty ingredients that are special for the freeze drying process.
Yeah. So, okay, what's this
I
say
got to
here?
break in. So Joe says that he's interested in this and loves the story behind the product. He's heard great things about this, and he was at Overland of America, and of course he saw you set up there with your booth.
Uh,
And he's talking about maybe getting some of those to take on his hiking trip. He does a lot of hiking, so those are always really great and don't take up a lot of space.
Yeah, they work really great, especially for backpackers and hikers, just because of the lightweightness of it, and the ease to rehydrate it, and it just, to me, the flavor is just what's so much different about our product than the others that I've tried. It's just um, it's we say it's freeze dried meals with a Louisiana flair, and that's we've got several things that we're working on, but we're holding off on getting new things to the market because we want it to be exactly the way it would be if you ate it in our restaurant. And that's, that's the hard part about the freeze dried process, is getting it back to rehydrate and to be exactly like it would be if you ordered it in a restaurant.
Yeah, that's a difficult task. That's pretty awesome, though. That's quite the undertaking.
I do agree with you, Paul, on something you said whenever you were in Kansas and you tried a bunch of commercial other meals and stuff, and they do what they're supposed to do. They do fill you up, but they do lack the flavor.
Yeah.
That yours obviously does. Have a flair, like you said, a Louisiana flair. So that is one of the big differences between the competition.
Well, and that's what we're shooting for. We want it to be. We used to say with our catering business, if Mamoo wouldn't serve it, neither will we. And so that's kind of the way we are with the freeze dried meals. If Mamoo wouldn't serve it, neither will we.
Right.
But
so it's got to be helpful having a commercial kitchen. Do you use the same kitchen that you normally use for the restaurant, or do you have a separate kitchen for that?
No, we do. And really that's our bottleneck right now, is that we're trying to do the catering business, restaurant, and the freeze dried business all out of the same kitchen. So what we're learning, and this is a learning process for us, is that we're learning that we're having to scale back some of the other things, which does not hurt my feelings one bit. My goal is to scale back the catering, to scale back the restaurant, and even the frozen food line, but at least, for the freeze dried to take over all of those others. I'm 55 years old. I can't lift and tote, stuff like I used to. For the catering business is a very physical, it's a very physical activity, and I'm just not able to do it like I used to. I'm not when I was younger. Right. So it was not hurt my feelings if the freeze dried business could overtake the catering business completely.
Well, yeah. And even just the restaurant portion, that, when we had a restaurant, we were there 60, 70, 80 hours a week sometimes,
Absolutely. And
so that's very time consuming.
That's the first thing that's going. In fact, we're actually cutting, all we do now is lunch, just because we do so much catering. And we're actually starting in November, we're cutting back lunches to only 3 days a week. So just to give us more time and kitchen space for the freeze dried division of it.
That's great. So how does your production work? How much are you able to produce per day, or have you figured that out?
Right now, we've got 2 commercial machines running, and so we can produce a batch. A batch takes about 3 to 4 days to get it completely freeze dried, and so we can run 2 batches a week, and in 2 machines. So we can produce about 200 packets of food a week. So
nice.
It's not great, and we're looking at expanding that even. But the electrical. We've got to do some electrical work to our building if we expand anymore, and so I'm not opposed to it. But that's kind of where we are with the production.
Well, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, it's nice to see that you've already, I know you're trying to scale back on some of those, but it's nice that you've already kind of expanded the business in multiple different directions, to give you some options. Because as you know, having a restaurant, there's very, little profit margin there, and it's a lot of overhead and employees and all of the other things and requirements that come with that. It's,
and I mean, we're in a small town. The economy here is just it's horrible. And so we've had a restaurant now since 2016. The catering part we've done since 2012, but we've actually had a brick and mortar restaurant since 2016, and this year's the worst year restaurant wise we've had in that whole time.
Really?
Yeah, it's just been, the food costs have more than tripled.
Yeah.
The cost of labor has almost doubled, and you can't triple your cost along to your restaurant customers. It just you just can't keep up. So I told somebody the other day, I said, man, we're doing more business than we've ever done. More money's flowing through the place than it's ever flowed, but we're making less profit than we've ever made.
Right.
But the freeze dried line has really been a godsend for us, because it's really it's really kind of kept us afloat with the economy, and so.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Oh, there's a question here.
We got another question. Sorry. So Joe wants to know, do all of them require hot water, or can you cold soak and cook some?
That's a really good question. Yeah, they do much better with hot water. You can rehydrate with just room temperature water, but it's just not as good.
Yeah.
It's with the hot water, it's like a hot meal. And so, first of all, it's going to take probably 2 to 3 times longer with room temperature water. If you can get, I hadn't even tried it actually, but I mean, I do know that it will rehydrate. I just don't know how long it's going to take a lot longer.
Yeah.
It's going to be like eating room temperature food. It's just not going to be as savory and as good, but it will. Yes. If you're in a bind and don't have a jet boil, you can.
Yeah. He usually carries a tiny little camp stove with him, but he is planning on doing some longer treks, 800 miles of the Arizona Trail and stuff. So,
Right.
all the extra fuel and stuff you carry is extra weight. So
Right.
I think he's just trying to pare
Right.
down. So you mentioned that you were, go ahead.
If you try it and it works, let me know what the specs are on room temperature water rehydrating.
Yeah.
We haven't tried that, but that's a good
Oh,
question.
he'll definitely do that for you.
Try
He
the
likes
ice
food.
cream sandwiches.
Mm,
Yeah, they don't require rehydration. So
Goodness.
yum. I like ice cream
I
and
tried them
sandwiches.
at Overland of America, and they are delicious, and then brought some home, and I don't have no more.
Oh no, we have to get our supplier to send us some more.
I'm going to have to get on an order.
he can probably fix that.
Going to have to get on an order because they're really, really good.
Yum.
Speaking of Overland of America, was that your first show or expo type of event to attend?
It was our first Overland Expo. We did a couple of hunting expos earlier in the year, but it was our first Overland Expo, and by far our biggest expo as far as not necessarily the number of people, but the reception and the sales that we had and everything. It was our best so far.
That's great because that was a brand new show and it was fairly small in attendance. So that's really good.
Yeah, I think the next one we got coming up, we're looking at we're going to do more in Springfield
in March, April,
in April.
Yeah.
We're probably going to do Overland of America again, and we're looking at possibly Rendezvous in the Ozarks probably next year, and maybe Expo East. We went up there. My wife and I went up there just kind of checking it out this year, and I think that's something we'll probably do is try to make Expo East.
Well, they've got 5 shows this year.
Overland Expo does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's Jasper Jeep Jam also up in Jasper, Arkansas. That's another potential show you could do.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of options. So you mentioned that you were a professor before.
I was.
Was it like culinary arts or was it something completely unrelated?
Completely unrelated. It was information systems. I taught health information systems. I taught systems analysis and design and quality assurance and a couple other different things. But yeah, completely unrelated. And now I have to have my kids, program my cell phone because I can't do it.
Same.
Yeah, I'm also in the technology field and it changes so rapidly. It's hard to keep up.
It has completely left me behind. When we started all of this, my son is in IT. He works for Life Church in Tulsa, and or in Oklahoma City, Edmond. And when we started all this, he completely redid my website. And so my daughter, who is in pre-med at Louisiana Tech, is taking care of all my social media because they told me Dad, just stay off of it, Dad. Let us take care of it.
just let us handle it, Dad.
Yeah, let us handle it.
Oh.
I was like, I used to make my living with this. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. You just stay out of it.
Yeah. We got over here on Instagram, we have Semper Gumby has joined. Good evening.
Captain
Monkey Shines, Trailing King, Steadfast Overland is over on IG as well. Thank you guys for watching.
You fellas. And then Phil with Old Man Old Truck, he just placed an order. Says thank you for the discount
Yay!
code.
Thank you.
Yes.
He's over there
Cool.
in the North Carolina.
Let us know how you like those.
I know. Don't end up doing what they studied. Yeah. All walks of life, Joe.
Yeah.
All walks of life.
Yep.
We have
I
to have
kinda-
our adult jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that people like sometimes try to make jobs out of their passions and then they lose that kind of
Passion.
drive and passion for those jobs. And then sometimes you have big girl and big boy jobs and then you get to a certain age and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I want to do something completely unrelated.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like part of the growing process. And
I'm very fortunate. The Lord has really blessed me, and my wife has a really good job, and she's with her job, she's allowed us to kind of venture out and try some different things as a family, and start a business and do things that we normally, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do. So I just thank the Lord for allowing us that opportunity to be able to do that, and so try to be a good steward of it.
Very fortunate.
Absolutely. So what else have you got coming up? You mentioned a few shows that you're going to try to do this next year. What else have you got going on in the works, or if you're allowed to share?
That's a good question.
New meals, new snacks.
There are some new meals that we are working on. The problem we have is that right now, after Overland of America, and my affiliates are pumping out videos and doing a really good job, and they're keeping us so busy that with 2 machines, I don't have enough time to perfect the things that are coming up. So we're probably fixing to expand to a test machine that's all it does is run product testing. And so what we have in the works is an etouffee, probably a shrimp etouffee, a gumbo, and probably a shrimp and or a chicken Alfredo.
I'm so excited.
So the Alfredo works really good. The problem we've had with the Alfredo is finding a pasta that after you rehydrate it is not crunchy. For our catering business, we use bow tie pasta. I really like bow tie pasta with an Alfredo, but I can't find one small enough, and they're too dense to completely rehydrate without having a crunch to them. So we're looking at some different types of pasta to work with an Alfredo. The etouffee and the gumbo, we're working on trying to get the oil content down in it to where it can have a longer shelf life. And we're still taking votes from people on when we do gumbo, okra or no okra on the gumbo.
Okra.
Yeah, well, that's me. It's not gumbo without okra.
Take it out, people.
Okra
Can't take okra out of gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
But the verdict is still out on okra or no okra with the gumbo. But it will probably have some degree of okra. But
I hope.
Only because I tend to do what I like, and so hopefully everybody else likes what I like, because for me it's just fun. So
you can pick it out. Definitely okra all the way. I'll be a testing person for you if you need that person.
I'll send you some tests.
I mean, I'll take one for the team. I can do that.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like my husband's going to gain weight on this through hike.
Yeah, he just said you better walk real fast and a lot of steep climbs there, bud.
Yeah. Well, it's Arizona, so that's likely.
Yeah.
He says okra as well.
Yes,
good deal.
That's right,
Good
honey.
Deal.
Yeah, okra.
We
have to have our veggies, so we,
Okra's back in the lead now, so we go with okra.
I bet if you put a poll on social media, I bet okra would win.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Put it out there.
It has to be in gumbo. It's delicious.
And I'm taking requests. If anybody's got a good idea of what they would like to see come up, I'm open to requests. So
nice.
So you have the ice cream sandwiches. Do you have any other kind of desserts or like special treats?
We don't right now. And that's that's a little farther down the road, but we would like to have the full. We'd like to have another couple of items for breakfast. Besides, we have right now we have a breakfast scramble, which is eggs and sausage and peppers and onions and cheese and hash browns. But we would like to add a couple of more breakfast items, some dessert items. So you can pretty much have a full day's meal all the way down to dessert. But it's kind of slow in coming. But we're working on it.
Like an oatmeal with blueberries. Do you have
Yeah,
blueberries in it or banana?
Something like that. Yeah,
Strawberry.
Something with some fruit and
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, maybe just like a little dried fruit snack line or something too would be nice.
Can't go wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And fruit freeze dries really well too. So
yeah, we like food. Can you tell?
All the snacks.
That's how I got started. So
yeah,
we're foodies. All the snacks.
Oh yeah. So other than overlanding shows and hunting shows, what other shows have you thought about going to? Are there any other places you want to?
There's you've got the kayakers, you've got the backpackers, you've got the hikers, you've got the preppers. I believe in being prepared, and so that's there are several different markets that we're looking at. We just don't want to grow too fast. We don't want to get to the point where we're getting more orders than we can fulfill. So we're kind of trying to slowly step into one niche at a time with the market, and so kind of control our growth as we go.
So what's your current lead time when someone puts in an order? Are you able to fill the orders pretty rapidly?
Right now, if I get an order today, it'll probably go out either tomorrow or the next day, depending on what all we've got going on catering wise. But usually within 1 to 2 days, we've got everything going back out. We're trying to stay ahead of the curve with orders, but usually 1 to 2 days usually.
That's right, people. Put your orders in right now.
There's a code right on the bottom of the screen. I don't know what y'all are doing.
That's right.
Phil got the message. Phil got the message.
Yeah, he did.
And
Teddy and Jojo said that it was really they had the breakfast scramble. That was really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the breakfast scramble works really good, especially if you take if you've got some tortillas with you, you can spread it on a tortilla with a little salsa. It's a really good addition to that.
Yeah.
And the portion sizes are fairly large. We say that it feeds two, so it either feeds two normal people or one like me, really hungry person. But the food it's packaged at different weights, but once it's rehydrated, they should rehydrate to right at a pound of food. So that it's a lot of food once it's rehydrated. That's what our goal was to package a pound of pre-freeze dried weight food. So it should rehydrate to right at a pound.
Yum. Pound of food. That sounds good. I don't care what kind of food it is.
What is the shelf life for your products?
Obviously, we don't know for certain because we've only started in January, but theoretically, it should be right at 20 to 25 years. The freeze drying process in and of itself has a 20 to 25 year shelf life in the process. I will say that some of the ones, for example, an Alfredo would probably have a little bit less shelf life because it's going to have more butter in it. Anything with more oils and butters is going to have a little bit less of a shelf life, simply because at some point, even though there's no water, the oils will tend to go rancid over a long period of time. But I would say easily 15 to 25 years, they should be good. Hopefully, for most people, they won't stick around that long. They'll eat them before 20 to 25 years. But if you want to set some back, for long-term emergencies, apocalyptic type things, then 20 to 25 years.
Do you
think? Even we just had some hurricanes here in Florida and stuff, and power's out for people. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. Even it could be a bad storm or any kind of preparation. Yep,
you're exactly right. In fact, when Milton came up through North Carolina, we had a customer in Texas who bought 200 packets, and we were going to Expo East anyway, so we just delivered them to North Carolina on our way to Expo East.
Very cool.
And they were tickled to death to get them. I mean, when we got there, the little town had no power, no water, no nothing, and so they had set up in the there was an outfitter there that that does hunting out guides and kayak tours and stuff. And they had turned their building into kind of a store where people could come and get the necessities that they didn't have. And they had like 18-wheeler loads of water and 18-wheeler load of pet food, but they didn't have hardly anything for people to eat. So they were tickled to death to be able to get some freeze-dried meals of something they could keep and, had a long shelf life to it. So yeah, it works really good for emergencies. So
Yeah.
Good gracious. Joe wants to know what's your favorite version. And he said, I'll tell you a secret. If you make nachos or pizza, Misty will be a lifelong customer. I agree with that.
You darn right.
yeah.
Pizza especially.
Mm.
I guess he's saying, what's your favorite version? So what
What
is your
meal?
favorite meal you make, probably is what he's saying there.
Oh, I got you. My favorite is beefy enchilada. It used to be
Ooh.
jambalaya till we did the beefy enchilada. And I actually, that was my favorite. Now, in the frozen casserole line, it's not my favorite. But in the freeze-dried, for some reason, the freeze-dried to me is better than the frozen.
Mm.
I think it's because with the freeze-dried, you rehydrate it with probably a little less water than it had in it originally. So the flavor is a little bit more intense. But that's my favorite. Blend of the Bayou is also really good. So I don't know. It's just whatever I'm in the mood for on any particular day. But
Gosh, I'm just here thinking of different things like stroganoff.
yeah,
Cobblers, if cobblers could be freeze dried, I don't really know, but those are always great to make when you're out at camp and whatnot.
That sounds amazing too.
I don't know about a full cobbler, but I'm thinking like a blueberry crisp or an apple
Or
crisp.
crumble or something.
Crumble, yeah, with the kind
Yeah.
of got like the cake topping on top and then kind of
Yes.
baked through it. Yeah, I think
Amazing.
something like that would really
Mhm.
really freeze dry well as well.
Oh my gosh. All of this sounds so good.
I know. Now I'm
So
getting
many good ideas.
I already ate dinner, but I'm getting kind of snacky now.
Uh-oh. So is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience, about your product or about your process of making them or anything like that?
As you're rehydrating these things, I get a lot of feedback from people on they're like, well, it needs a little more water, or then I'll get one that says, oh, it needs a little bit less water, or the water for rehydrating them is a suggestion. So most of them say a cup and a fourth to a cup and a half of water. As you rehydrate these things, if you'll start out on the low side, you can always add more water if it's still not quite. But you can make these things to any consistency that you want to make them.
Yeah.
If you want to make them watery, to take, for example, King Ranch chicken. King Ranch chicken is a really good casserole, but if you add just a little bit more water, it almost becomes like a soup. So you can kind of get different meals with different textures just based on how much water that you add back for the rehydration process. So I would start with on the lower end, and then you can always add more if you need it or would like it. But it's actually just a taste preference. So
Yeah.
Start with 1 cup.
Yeah,
1 cup.
Yeah, anywhere from a cup and a fourth, but it's going to take at least a cup to get rid of the crunchiness of the freeze drying process.
Yeah, we only want the crunchy stuff that's supposed to be crunchy.
Yeah.
Bite into a noodle and it goes like, oh man.
Yeah.
Which in a bind, you can eat these things just right out of the package too, but
That's what we did. We put the water in the package and we ate it out of the package.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Then you don't have as many dishes to clean up or anything.
Negative.
Yeah.
No. Well, easy
I would suggest either a really long, one of the trailware extendable spoons and forks to eat with, or take your knife and cut the bag in half after you get it rehydrated, just to make it easier to eat. But yeah,
becomes a bowl.
The bowl bag becomes a bowl. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Less is more.
It's got me so hungry now.
I'm just thinking about all the dessert possibilities that could happen here.
Yeah.
I've got a whole dessert line planned out in my head.
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
Yeah. Probably our next big market is going to be toward the the emergency preparedness line, just because, I mean, there's so much going on these days. It's not unforeseen, just like I said with the hurricanes, that it's a good idea to have a few things stuck back just to get you out of a bind. So.
Oh, for sure. Like we were actually supposed to be in Spain right now, and my husband sent me a text this morning. He's like, it's a good thing we didn't go to Spain because all of southern Spain is flooded out really, really bad, and there's a whole bunch of people missing. And yeah,
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow, okay. So you never know. I'm sure that people in Western North Carolina did not expect what happened there to happen. It's just you never really know what's going to happen. So it's good to be prepared.
Right.
Yep.
Chili mac.
Oh, chili mac. Yes. Chili mac. Another idea?
That is actually, that's a very good idea, is a chili mac. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look who's on here.
Little baby girl.
We've tried to kind of stay away from, the peak in the mountain. They have their specialty stuff. And so we've kind of tried to do some things that were a little bit different from what some of these other guys are doing. And, but I'm always open for a good suggestion.
Right. Simper Gumby says he wants to thank Paul for sending all the meals to the Gumby gathering. Everyone was impressed and enjoyed the breakfast scramble. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all are welcome. Glad y'all enjoyed it.
Nice.
Got kids popping up all over this thing now.
Oh, Lord. Mine will be next. Yeah.
Kids. I can't. I cannot.
We have everybody on here.
Such a wide variety right now. Such a wide variety.
Yep. So why don't you tell everybody how they can find you on social media, the best ways to contact you and all of that?
Our website is mamooscampkitchen.com, MAMOOS, not Mamoo like the town, which would be MAMOU, but MAMOOS, mamooscampkitchen.com. And that'll take you to either it'll take you to a landing page where you can go to our catering site, or you can go to the store, the Mamoo's Camp Kitchen store. Mm-hmm. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. That's our social media pages. And so stop by, check us out. And then our email address, if you want to email us directly, is paul.murray@mamooskitchen.com. So, and we'll
very easy to remember.
Yep, help you out however we can.
Use the LOR10, get your 10% off.
Heck yeah, girl.
If you're in the Farmerville area, stop by and see our brick and mortar store. Stop by and have lunch with us, and we'd love to meet you.
Yeah, awesome. You better get in there and have lunch soon, because eventually.
Yeah, we're going to be doing away with them. So
scaling back, people.
Yep.
Scaling back.
Oh, yeah, one more comment on there.
Oh my goodness. Website is very easy to navigate. Thanks, Phil.
Cool. Perfect. My son will thank you, because he's designed and he keeps that up. So
yeah, I was going to say, tell your son, good job.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Peyton. I think he's on here. So
awesome.
Yeah, he probably is.
Well, thank you so much, Paul, for being on the show, and we really enjoyed our time with you. And as Arla said, don't forget LOR10 for 10% off of your meals. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate you letting me be on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.